Welcome back to the Sound for More channel. It's Leo speaking. Today I have the pleasure to introduce you to SS-VC1 Compressor from StrongSoft. Before I continue, I would like to remind my viewers to subscribe as it helps with growing the channel. Also, if you would like to participate to the giveaway, to have an opportunity to own a copy of this compressor, please do check the instruction in the video description. Make sure that the winners have not been announced, because in that case, the giveaway has concluded. And also ensure that after you liked the video and commented on the video, to come back after 2 days from the publishing of the video to check if you are a winner, just going inside the video description. Thank you again. So, SS-VC1 is a compressor. As you can see, it's an AUV3 compatible compressor. I'm running it inside Logic Pro for iPad, and as you can see at the bottom here in the plugin editor view, we have just a sampler which is running, and then we have the compressor here as an audio effect. You can see it is active here inside Logic Pro. Now let's deactivate it so that we can listen to a loop, a piano loop, okay, inside Logic Pro, just to hear what it sounds like. Okay, perfect. The reason I've done that is because now I'm going to turn on the compressor, and therefore I'm going to manipulate or process the sound through the audio effect. So first of all, starting from the top left, here you have some vision you can turn on and off here at the center, which is really nice. I recommend you have these on, okay, because it shows you what happens changing some of the threshold, ration, etc, etc. So on the left hand side you have the typical controls for the compressor, okay. In the middle you have really meters and display, which I'll explain in a moment. And then on the right hand side you have the input gain, so you can change the gain on the input signal, and then the mixing as well. And you can also set look ahead, for example, 5 milliseconds or off as well. And you can see also that changing here in the middle, that eye changes when it is on, is in alert mode, or like eyelashes up, so showing that look ahead is on. And you can also turn it on here, clicking on the visual. Really, really nice. I do really like the display that it shows in the middle. Now, here you have a different setting for the skin, which is nice, like vintage, right? And others. So you have free one. I like the minimalistic view, this one, the default one. Okay, in the middle, you see 3 big buttons. The top one shows you the reduction. The middle one shows you what is coming out as an output from the compressor, and the first one, what is coming in from as an input into the compressor. I like to look at the reduction, but again, it's nice to see that you can actually change between the 3 different ones. Okay, as you know, it's a compressor. So first of all, you set the threshold by which after that threshold, it will start to compress. Okay, so let's start there. And of course, the higher the threshold it is, the more signal will go through, and of course it is not compressed, and it will give you the illusion that, of course, the volume is actually going up, which is correct in terms of amplitude, because it's not being compressed. The lower, of course, that you set it, the lower threshold that it will be, and therefore the less signal that will go through, or more signal will get compressed. You see also a visual here. On the right-hand side, it's nice to see that horizontal line, which tells you where the threshold is. And also on the left-hand side, you see that in correspondence to the ratio and also knee mode. So it's nice that you can see that visual, okay? Next, you actually set the ratio for the compressor. So, for example, if it is 1:1, like this, as a ratio, there's no compression, right? And as you heard, it just went ballistic as a sound really high, and apology for that, but just to show that there is no compression. Of course, you want to have different type of compression, and the higher you go, the more it will compress, okay? So it's nice to set the threshold, and because that enables you to actually, for example, not compress a signal which is already low as an amplitude, which is really nice. And of course, so for example, if you set it up to here, anything that has an amplitude below that will not be compressed, and above that will be compressed, which is that line that you see there. So we have explained what the ratio now is, and you can see here on this display that it changes, right? Here is at infinite, you can see is leveled. And then of course, the lower you set it, the more it will go to become just a linear linear setting up to 1.1, as we have seen in a moment, where it doesn't compress. Next, you have the knee, which is about the behavior of a compressor when it approaches the threshold. And as you can see, you can change it like so. At 0 is a hard knee, so it just truncate, right, and the signal. When it is a maximum, it's a very soft knee. Start to compress as it approaches the threshold, okay, and then you have full compression after the threshold, okay. Next, you have your attack, so how quickly the signal drops based on the compressor setting, okay? And you can see that changing here. You see a maximum. You see this line is like your ADSR, and as I decrease the attack, you see is stepping up straight away. It can, of course, create some noise when it is down to 0 in terms of how it responds, okay? Similarly, you have, let's increase this so you see this graph better. Similarly, you have release, so how long it takes for the signal to go back to the original value, right? Like so. And you can see it is increasing. Of course, it can muffle a little bit the sound. And when you have a lower setting for release, of course, it almost start to give you that effect of being staccato, because it let go straight away the compression on the signal above that threshold or near the threshold based on the knee setting. Sometimes normally what comes out of a compressor is lower as compared to the input in terms of amplitude and therefore signal level. Therefore, you have an option here to make up, okay, to increase therefore, as you can see, the level. And it's nice because you can compress it, setting the threshold and the ration, how quickly you compress and let go here with attack and release, how hard it is. And then as you have compressed that signal to the level that you want, then you can bump it up as you need, which is really nice. As I mentioned here on the right-hand side, you have an input gain to increase the input. And then you have your mix here. Let me show you what happens when we have a lower threshold and then we change the mixing. You can hear in this case when the mix is at max that you have just only the compression signal going through. Really nice. So, by the way, every time you double click on a control, it goes back to the default position, which you see is represented by this pin in each of the controls. So really nice. Okay, sometimes the reaction of a compressor is not really good, particularly on the attack. This is why you have an option of look ahead, which is in this case 5 milliseconds. So it looks ahead what the signal is so that it can react quicker to the compression. Of course, if you hear it or not, it depends very much on the type of sound that you have as an input and also the settings inside the app. Okay, I'm going to stop here. I hope you enjoyed the tutorial and demonstration. And as always, see you next time.